Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe my channel. The kookaburra's laugh echoed through the sanctuary, a sound Leo had known since he could walk. He finished securing the enclosure, his movements practiced and gentle. The golden hour light filtered through the eucalyptus trees, painting everything in warm, familiar hues. All set, Leo? His mother, Anya, approached, her smile not quite reaching the worry in her eyes. She held out a thick, official-looking envelope. Leo took it, the paper feeling foreign and heavy in his work-roughened hands. This was it. The confirmation. In a week, he would trade the dusty paths of the wildlife park for the gleaming, polished floor of a studio. It had seemed like a wild idea at first. A producer visiting the sanctuary had seen him on a children's tour. She'd watched, captivated, as he calmly explained the delicate ecosystem of a stick insect to a group of wide-eyed 5-year-olds. "You have a natural warmth, a quiet sincerity the camera loves," she told him later. Now, holding the contract, the reality of it was a tremor in his chest. He wasn't a performer. He was a keeper, an educator, a boy who preferred the company of reptiles to crowds. The night before he left, he sat on the veranda with his sister, Maya. The air was thick with the scent of jasmine and the distant, rhythmic thrum of cicadas. "Nervous?" she asked, handing him a mug of tea. "Terrified," he admitted, staring into the dark bushland. "It's all sequins and scripts. What do I know about any of that?" "You know how to work hard. You know how to be patient with a scared animal. You know how to listen. Maybe that's not so different." He thought of her words during his first day in the city. The studio was a shock of controlled chaos. Blinding lights, shouted instructions, and a constant low hum of energy. His partner, Sophia, was a whirlwind of grace and ambition, her entire life dedicated to the art of movement. To her, the dance was a story. To Leo, it felt like a foreign language he was being asked to speak with his feet. He was clumsy. He counted steps under his breath, his posture too rigid, his frame more suited to holding a python than a professional dancer. The judge's initial comments were kind, but pointed. "Lacks flair, needs to connect with the music." Frustration built like a storm cloud. He missed the honest dirt under his nails, the unscripted sounds of the bush. One evening, after a particularly grueling session where he'd stepped on Sophia's toes for the 10th time, he retreated to the rooftop of his apartment building. The city sprawled below him, a vast artificial constellation of lights. It was loud, but it was a hollow, mechanical noise. He closed his eyes and tried to remember the sound of the kookaburra. And then, an idea sparked. The next day, he walked into rehearsal with a different energy. "Sophia, can we try something?" He asked her to forget the samba, the cha-cha, the technical names. Just move, like the wind through the gun trees. He started to describe the animals he knew. The sly, sliding gait of a iguana, the powerful, grounded stomp of a kangaroo, the delicate, fluttering flight of a butterfly. Sophia, intrigued, began to translate his words into movement. Their practice space transformed. It was no longer a sterile studio, but a piece of the outback. Leo's body began to loosen. The rigid steps melted into a more organic flow. He wasn't performing a dance. He was telling a story. His story. On live television, under the dazzling lights, their performance was different. It wasn't the most technically perfect, but it was captivating. Leo moved with a raw, natural elegance that spoke of open spaces and ancient rhythms. He led Sophia not just through the steps, but through a narrative of the land he loved. When the music ended, the silence held for a beat, before erupting into applause. The head judge leaned into her microphone. Leo, she said, a note of genuine surprise in her voice. That was authentic. You brought us somewhere real. You didn't just dance for us, you invited us in. Backstage, his phone buzzed. It was a text from Maya, followed by a string of emojis, a dancing lizard, a tree, and a laughing face. See, you just had to speak your own language. Leo looked at his reflection in the screen. A man in sequins with a heart still full of bushland. He hadn't conquered the world of glitter and glamour. He had simply brought a little piece of his world into it and found that, to his surprise, it belonged. The spotlight wasn't his enemy. It was just a different kind of sun.